Welcome in. We are here for another Sunday Race Club. This week we are in Australia on the Aus Outerloop route. You can see there that the primary feature of this course is the big KOM in the middle. It's about 5.5k, averaging 8% with some steeper sections. Now today, the first probably 15-20 minutes of the race was among the easier SRC starts I've had, so I will essentially just take you to the climb because that's where all the action was going to unfold. Heading in, my goal for the day was to average over 400 watts for the climb, which is a pretty solid 14-minute effort for me, especially knowing that there'd be some over-unders. So I'm going to speed up the climb a bit and play it in its full duration. Hopefully it's watchable with all these avatars like that. It will thin out as we go. You can notice on the right, the first part is not that steep. So everyone's kind of settling into like a sustainable rhythm that's solid. I'm sure there's someone on the front doing some watts that are pretty high, but it requires about that even level of power to sit on the wheels in the draft where I am. It'll then head up steeper for quite a while, probably a good couple of minutes, I would say, before that little flatter section. Now, I knew this would be a key part where this would be where the first selections are made. So essentially, you've got to make sure you're with this group up in this steep part so you can get that little bit of respite on the flat section because you're not coming back from there, to be honest, if you are not there. So working really hard up really high 400 watts here. Heart rate's already getting right up there after a casual couple of minutes now. Things are really starting to hurt already. You can see there's still a massive group of guys though. So I'm in a good spot, but I'm thinking surely a couple of guys are going to start to drop off soon. Having a look at the rider list on the right, you can actually see your position, which is really cool now. Again, up over 500 watts, and I am stinging, just trying to hold on to the back of the leaders over this first part. I can still see that world champions jersey. That means that means danger because the more people that follow that, the more my legs are going to be hurting as we head into the flat section and just get a little bit of recovery. You can see it starting to split a little bit, but not too badly as we are about to head into that second really steep section. The goal here is to just hope to find my guys, I guess. Just hit the wind there, which isn't ideal starting off this next part, but no harm done. But we are back up into it. Still a really high tempo here, and there are still a lot of guys involved. It's already really starting to sting me, and I'm starting to have those inner battles with the mind. How long can I stay on? Seeing that I'm already kind of 12th place, there are still 15, 16 guys in contention, and it's been a pretty solid effort. Now, a lot of guys end up doing like PBs for 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 14 minutes today. So the level was really high. As we head up this part, I kind of have to dig in to stick with this little group that I'm with. And it's about here that things start to split a little bit. And I just don't really go with those guys that are just heading up the road. But I am with some good names. Look at the names that I'm with. Some seriously strong guys. And I need to just stay strong here and hold on to these guys to that next little flat part that's coming up. The guys in the group ahead, they're really not that many seconds ahead, and you'll actually notice on the third section that it splits to bits up ahead. And some guys with me, I think, end up getting up there, and some guys up there end up blowing up big time. So we're about 8.5 minutes into the climb now, and I'm just hanging into the draft. Mentally, I'm kind of checking out. It's a bit too much for me today. I don't feel like I've got the legs to go with these guys. I honestly don't really remember much of what happens in this next 4 minutes. So that shows that I was in a fair bit of pain. I think you'll notice me in a moment kind of isolated. And I honestly don't remember that at all. I felt like I was either drafting someone or kind of half given up, just holding steady tempo off the back at all times. But wasn't really the case as I go past Turek in a moment here. This is where I do find myself isolated, and Power is a little bit up the road. In my head, I was with him like the whole time. But I almost get a little ticket to freedom or some good luck, you could say, in about a minute's time. So you can see just up ahead there, that group, they've outclimbed me. I'm 13th on the road, so it's not looking good for me. I'm looking at Turek, Cutler, the guys immediately behind me, thinking they're going to be good if we get into a breakaway. They've got some good raw watts, but it doesn't actually happen that way. I kind of fight on up into the draft here, and I see Power. And then just up ahead, I notice a bike that seems very familiar and a hat color. And we soon notice that it is him. It's my teammate from FarmWatch squad, no other than Hayden Pucker. As I'm absolutely cooked, heading towards the top of the hill. The main group of like guys like 4th to 9th type thing, they do the com 20 seconds faster. So really good, really big numbers there. But I'm thinking if I'm with Hayden, the race is not over. There's a long descent to come. I might be able to claw our way back to some positions if we work together, or if Hayden can help us out and use some of his raw watts here. So fighting towards the top of the KOM. I'm pretty sure it was about 14 minutes 10 at 400 watts, 408 normalized, and that gets me across in this group well off the top level there. Some really big numbers by the guys at the front. So it's descent time, and we're in a group. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. This race is not over. I'm already fighting it out. There's 2 money places in this group, or 1 actually at the moment, but soon to be 2. I can see that Linden's just ahead here. And my main objective on this downhill is to make sure I do not let Hayden go. I know we're teammates in the finals weeks, but today Hayden is hopefully a potential ticket to some success. There he goes. I'll try and just get in the wheel. It requires a lot of effort for me to manage to get into the wheel. We do that. You can see Linden just up ahead here, and unfortunately for him, our group's going to come past with such momentum that he's actually going to drop out of the top 10 after a really strong climb. So I put in a little dig, and then I think Hayden comes over the top of again. Just about here, there he goes, and up big watts to try and get up onto him, kicking up to 800. And I just get in his wheel. So does Stefan and Power. So the 4 of us are now 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th on the road. And it's at this point, I think, well, if the 4 of us can work together, we're only like 20 seconds behind that group up ahead. Like there's a chance we could get back. Like you just never know. So I'm keen to work with these guys once we get to the bottom, but it doesn't actually play out like that. So I think down when we get to the bottom of the descent, I hit the number 5 to say that, you know, I'm willing to work. I want to do some big turns, help out. If the 4 of us pull together for 20k, we could make some good inroads on those guys. But yeah, it doesn't. So there's my little signal. I'm keen to work, keen to help out, and it backfires big time. So I go to the front here, do a bit of a turn, and we then head up into an uphill. I get absolutely attacked on over the top, so I don't have the speed. There's Hayden's big attack at 10 watts a kilo. That's like 900 watts or something. And so I lose the wheel, and now my legs just briefly go kaput here. I lose Stefan's wheel, and I'm like, oh, fuck, my race is done. That's my day over. But I do notice that those 2 guys are not getting onto Hayden. So I'd kick it back up thinking that there's some chance that if they're slow in kind of getting their act together, that I might be able to make it back. So I give it absolutely everything I've got here to try and make this catch, because I know if the three of us are together, there's a chance that I could get top 10 and a chance that we can hold off the three guys behind who are all really, really strong riders. From there, we basically roll some turns to hold off the guys in 13th, 14th, and 15th. So nothing crazy, but some decent work together. I go to the front here as an example and pull a turn. You can see the gaps there, 45 seconds to Tim Cutler, who did the majority of the pacemaking on the flat. I think super strong ride from Tim. He did like 415 watts for an hour or something in this race. But yeah, the three of us work reasonably well together to ensure that at least one of us is going to go home with something. And that's basically how it plays out until we get into the last K. Now, Hayden was literally dangling about 10 seconds up the road ahead. I think he was pretty comfortable, but if we actually worked really hard, you'd probably never know what could have happened there. Maybe we could have fought it out and had an extra chance, but that's racing, and it was a tough race for sure. All right, I'll let the sprint play out now. We're into the final 700 meters. Now, I had a plan as to when I wanted to go, a bit premeditated, but also watching what would happen. And in hindsight, I just probably go like 0.2 of a second late, and it doesn't means I lose the draft. But power by name, power by nature, basically. Watch this. These are massive numbers, 14.2, 17.6. So they're massive numbers. And so I kick, but don't ever get into the draft. And they're just big numbers. Stefan comes past as well. I don't have much on me today. He's got more momentum. I can sense the line there. I'm not doing anything. So we kind of shut up shop and come across the line in 12th place today. So, yeah, it's not my best placing, but the level's just super high at the moment. Here's the results. You can see it was all pretty close. Like we were within like 45 seconds of the second group for most of that race there. Yeah, we just couldn't quite get there, and that's how it was on the day. But top 15 all had a pretty strong ride, that's for sure. Lots of lots of my whoosh racing coming up now. We've got some public qualifiers for Worlds, which we'll be having a look at. And then the MyWhoosh Championships starting next Tuesday will be interesting. So I'll be here to cover those ones. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you then. Bye.